You know, every industry has a guru. We have got the guru of the ad game in studio. He is here, ladies and gentlemen.
Joe Public's Executive Creative Director, Xolisa Dyeshana.
I work with highly, highly talented people, and I help them to unleash their creativity to solve complex business problems.
C-level nogals, C-level.
Guys, I'm telling you, we're hitting that chief director, chief creative director.
Then you must know.
Told me. Friend, welcome to my show.
Thank you so much, Xolisa.
Xolisa Dyeshana. Yeah, he is my friend. He called me Aneles. Now you guys know the nickname is Aneles. I'll tell you why you're here, friend. Twofold, right? One, your ad agency, Joe Public, doing the most wonderful things year after year. I'd say for the past 5 decades, Joe Public has dominated the Loeries, right?
For probably the past couple of years, probably about 4 years, 5 years.
Okay, yeah. I'm going to give it 5 years. That's one of the reasons. And the Loeries happened last week and you guys dominated there as well. So we're going to discuss that. And then also there's a question flying around 947. What is the last advert that made you buy something? So I want to go into the psyche of that. As like, how do you guys as ad men do it, where you create an advert that somehow, you know, creates a need, a want, or maybe like some branding, a feeling. There we go. That's what I'm looking for. So when you are at the genesis, right, a client comes to you and says, hey, I want this, I want that done. What's your departure point? What is your first question to them?
So it's quite an interesting thing because, it's starting with your question, you know, we always say that good advertising doesn't sell, but it makes you buy. And there's quite a skill to that. And I think it starts off, as you were saying, right from when a client walks up to us and we've got to learn their business fairly quickly because you really, really have to understand the complexity of their business problem first and foremost. And an ad agency is typically made up of quite a few departments. So, you know, they'll come in through our account management department, which really deals with the relationship. They'll then tell us what the problem is. What will then happen is that usually in that meeting, you'll have the strategy department, which will work with them to try and find out, okay, so you want to sell this. Who do you want to sell it to? Why this particular market? Maybe this should be who we're looking at, et cetera, et cetera. And only at the end of that process, once we've come up with some kind of a strategic route that we want to take, that's when it's brought to our table as the creatives to say, this is who we want to talk to, this is the client, and now you guys have to find us what is that magic idea that's going to make people start buying.
So this is a trust game, hey, because you have to trust that the reception, the team where they're dealing with the client up and down, finding out what their needs are. You have to trust that they're asking all the correct questions so that they can give you the right answers.
Absolutely. And what's good about the process is that it's very collaborative. So you don't have these processes aren't siloed. So if I get it at my desk and I have a question, I've also got a direct line to the client to say, listen, I know that we've been through the process, but I don't quite agree or understand this. So it's a very, very fluid process, very, very collaborative.
So what's the danger in becoming the boss as a creative?
The danger in becoming the boss as a creative is to believe that the creativity rests with you.
I'm going to have a siren there. I need a bip.
So as I mentioned, I think when you're the boss in creative, you are essentially the facilitator. I think the real people with the amazing ideas are the young people that come into our agencies, the guys that are just fresh and just thinking of stuff that you can never understand. Our duty as the leaders is to really take those little seedlings of ideas and to grow them into what ultimately becomes the stuff that everybody sees. Okay,
this takes me to something, I don't know what to call him. Is he your boss, Pepe Marie?
Yes.
Because what happened is this deal happened and you guys bought shares and then everyone was like, Xolisa owns Joe Public. We are rich.
We started celebrating.
And that person was you.
I remember I posted that deal that you guys signed where, I don't know, what were you buying a few shares at Joe Public? whatever that deal was. We posted on the group. I was like, yo, G-Wagon.
He's picking up the ball forever.
We are going to America. We are rich.
And then did you reel her back in? You're like, hey,
Dude, I had to. Hey, there's
wait,
debt
hang
to
on.
pay. That's all this means.
Okay, so Pepe said something which Frankie was talking about this morning. Frank, I don't know if you can relate for us, where he said all good creatives.
Yeah, he's talking about sort of the best creative minds in the world generally, and he was talking about how these like amazing creatives are employed, and you have to go and find them. You know, he's talking about great talent. You'll find that the majority of great talent is employed somewhere, and they're loving what they're doing there. And you have to, if you want great talent in your organization, you have to go and find that talent. You know,
So are these the minds that you speak of? That these, you know, they just come in and they have all these ideas, and your job is to facilitate that.
Absolutely uneasy. But you know what's interesting is that it's slightly different in South Africa. And it's slightly different because I think talent, particularly if you look at how transformation has happened in advertising, you still have quite a small pool of people of color, especially experienced ones, right? And you've got all the agencies that are scrambling for that talent. So what we've found to be one of the best things for us to do is to actually go out on the streets, go out into social settings, and find people from untraditional advertising backgrounds who are doing the TikTok videos that are trending, who are doing the YouTube videos that are trending. Take those people, bring them into the fold, let them know that there is a career where you can have a constant salary income, and we bring those people in, and we call ourselves the growth agency. Our purpose is to be the fertile soil that grows greatness, and we bring these young people in, and we grow them, and in turn we grow through them.
All right, so he is not the owner of Joe Public. Sorry, my mistake.
There is no single owner of Joe Public.
He is one of them, 5% or not. I don't know how big or little. All I'm saying is my friend is one of the owners of the biggest creative agency, advertising agency on the continent. How many Loeries did you win this past week?
Jeez, we haven't actually done the exact.
That's how many.
There we go. That's
But
how
I
many.
can tell you,
Am I asking Johan Rupert how much money he has in the bank here?
Look, there were some highlights. I mean, Chicken Licken won Brand of the Year again. Chicken Licken. Nedbank won.
Yeah.
So we got 4 golds, 5 silvers, 3 bronzes, 2 crafts for Chicken Licken. We got 5 bronzes, 2 crafts, 5 bronzes. For Nedbank, we got more awards for South African breweries.
So listen here, when you go and collect them, is it a Hilux or a Ford Ranger that you use to go and pick them up at the awards afterwards? They're like beep 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 Ford Ranger, no?
You know, it's look, at the end of the day, I think for us, we don't do what we do for awards. Awards are a byproduct of what we do. And I think it really, really is kudos to our clients that truly, truly believe in creativity, and they trust us. You know, I'll never forget when we were awarded this incredible, for instance, the Chicken Licken business. I'll never forget the late George Sombonos, who said to us in no uncertain terms, I trust you guys as my advertising agency.
I sell chicken.
I sell chicken. You don't tell me how to sell chicken. I won't tell you how to make ads.
Love it.
And it's just incredible the
That's
amount
amazing.
of responsibility that you take on when someone gives you that much trust.
All right, listen, on the way, we're going to show you why Xolisa is who he is, okay? He is such a creative mind. He sings as well, people.
He does.
And we are going to showcase his singing abilities in just a few minutes. Stay with us.
9, 4, 7.
In studio, we have got Xolisa Dyeshana, who is the creative director. Am I correct in saying that, friend?
What's your title?
What's your title? Chief Creative Director.
Officer.
Yes.
Chief Creative Officer. So CCO.
Yes, ma'am.
That is who he is, of Joe Public, the #1 ad agency on the continent.
Let's go! Another big interview.
With Anele and the club
Only
on 947.
So one of the adverts that stick out for me every time I think of you and our friendship circle, because we're a bunch of creators all together, it must have been about 10 years ago, and you guys were very obsessed with this advert.
Here's to the crazy ones, the misfits, the rebels, the troublemakers, the round pegs in the square holes, the ones who see things differently. You can quote them, disagree with them, glorify or vilify them. About the only thing you can't do is ignore them, because they change things. While some may see them as the crazy ones, we see genius. Because the people who are crazy enough to think they can change the world are the ones who do.
How powerful is that?
What ad was this for?
This was the relaunch of Apple. And what's interesting about the clip that you played is that that's actually Steve Jobs reading that.
Oh.
This was the relaunch of Apple when he came back to them in 1998.
Okay.
And
Wow.
why is it so special to you?
I just think it changed the game. It absolutely changed everything. You know, Steve Jobs was one CEO who understood what business difference creativity could make. And that's the reason why today, you know, he says the people who think they can change the world are the ones who do. The biggest company in the world today is his.
But also the influence that he's had, because like you say, the creativity that he would believe in could lead business. Because Disney is where it is because of Steve Jobs. Pixar is where it is because of Steve Jobs, and it's that same philosophy.
I love that, and this is why it was so important that you come here and have this chat with us, Xolisa, because you just said something now that I want that to resonate with parents, that, you know, when somebody understands the business of creativity, because when kids are creative, you know, parents are like, no, that's not going to make you money. You're not going to get a living from that. But you are literally saying that there is a business to creativity, and you are a living example of it. I'm a living example of it, right?
Absolutely uneasy. I think, you know, we need that so much. One of the biggest passions that I have is to see black people participate in the creative economy. Because it is insane. You know, we were just chatting offline with Frankie. You go onto a set and you see the kind of production that exists on a set. You know, from an advertising perspective, you've got a director, you've got the production house. There's a guy who's called a focus puller, whose only job is to make sure that nothing is out of focus. You know, and for me, the more we can transform all of these spaces and give our kids the hope and the knowledge to know that there are so many alternative careers for them, the better it is for all of us.
So one of your other passions is music. How much of your, because friend, you are really good at it, and you know music, and you can hear it, and you collect it, and you listen to it. How much of your love of music informs your creativity at work at Joe Public?
So much of it, actually. You know, the one thing that I always talk about, so when I was in high school, I loved art, and obviously I loved my music. And the biggest anxiety I had was that I would go back to my parents and say that I wanted to do either one of these two things. Because they would say, but we sent you to the expensive schools, and how are you going to pay us back?
Yes.
So when I stumbled upon this as a career, it basically encapsulated all of that. I'm creating art. I need music for any commercial that we make needs a soundtrack, etc., etc. So all of it comes into everything that we do. I sit with music producers left, right, and center. Msaki this day, Sun Al musician the other day, you know, and we collaborate with the fashion guys. Let's create this outfit. It really is just so much creativity and tapping into so many South African talents.
And you sing yourself.
And I sing myself to the few unlucky people who spend time with me.
Look, I've got to be honest with you, X. Like in this group of friends that you are in, I think you might be the vocal star compared to. I mean, I'm not going to. I mean, Anele is obviously sitting here in arms slap reach. So I don't want to say, but I think, I mean, out of all the group of
friends,
definitely
definitely he's
the voice. He's the voice, right?
Without a doubt.
Yeah.
In fact, I have proof of it. This is Xolisa singing after he'd lost electricity at his house for a few days in Bryanston, yes, and he was so excited when the power came back. He decided to compose a little bit of a something.
I never thought I'd be so excited for electricity. Now look at me. I never thought I'd be so excited for the lights on eventually. I can shower for an hour, boil an egg or 3, do whatever it is that pleases me. I never thought I'd be so excited for electricity. Now look at me. I never thought I'd be so excited to have the lights on eventually.
I mean. This is when is this Broadway show coming? I'll go watch this.
Come on,
I'll go
Xolisa,
watch
surely.
this. Come on,
You know-
surely.
Listen, after all the freaking power outages that we've been having, I think I'll have a whole ensemble behind me.
But that's what I'm saying. I mean, I can see it.
You know, some people, you ask them, what would your book be called? Xolisa says, what would your Broadway show be called at the end of your career? I need a Broadway show. In fact, this is so Broadway, we called on a huge composer.
Oh, no,
partnered-
I just wanted to get an
guys,
outside,
no,
because we love it.
no.
What's the outside opinion?
Yeah,
you
so
know?
we had to get an outside opinion, a professional one. He boasts that he works with Hans Zimmer on the regular. Lebu M, who did
Yes.
the original
Oh, my
score
God.
of Lion King, he heard this piece and he had to weigh in on what he thinks. Would you like to hear what Lebu M thinks?
Of course, I'd like to. I can't believe you guys did that.
My dearest Anele, that is not a joke. That is extreme talent. And here is my response and critique. Lyrical content, absolutely amazing. Melody, Broadway feature film material. Singing, whew. Okay, we'll discuss that.
I mean, look, two out of 3 is
Listen,
not
I'll
bad.
freaking take those 2. Are you freaking kidding me? Oh, my word.
Oh, I absolutely love it.
Dude.
So, friend.
Okay, you flip. Okay, you got me there.
Lion King is opening in New York. I'm just saying, if you're not busy for the next year or so, we're ready for you.
Listen, the youngsters at the office will probably take my job now. You've literally, yeah.
Listen, speaking of the youngsters at the office, on the way, we asked the question to the city, which ad made you go and buy something, made you feel something that you've seen like in the past year, inspired you in some way, shifted the needle in your life in some way. We received many voice notes on the way. You're going to have a listen to those and you'll weigh in on that for us.
Love it.
Thanks.
9, 4, 7.
In studio, Chief Creative Officer of Joburg, really been awarded, top ad agency on the continent and around the world. Didn't you guys come like 3rd in the world at a point?
Oh, no. We're working towards that. I think we're 35 in the world.
Okay, well,
I
left the 5
It's
out.
the world, guys. You know how big the world is.
The world. They are number 35. So listen, they have been racking up the Loeries. In case you're wondering, what's a Loerie? They've been talking Loerie. Loerie is the highest advertising award you can get. I think in the country, on the planet, it's a Khan, hey? A black eagle.
Okay, so the eagles aren't around anymore. They were for print.
Okay.
But essentially how it goes is you've got Cannes Lions.
Yes.
That probably sits right at the top. And then you've got the top show that is based out of the UK is the DNAD. And then out of the US is the One Show.
Okay.
And then for the continent and the Middle East, it's the Loeries.
The Loeries.
Yes.
Okay, so it's bigger than South Africa. It's continent and Middle East. And you guys have been rallying. I mean, you guys have heard this so many times.
And the Loerie goes to
Joburg.
So we made that one up.
That's not even a real.
I'm like, I can't remember that night.
No.
Because we've been trying to get a clip that says Joburg, the Loeries, and we can't find it anyway. Please tell the Loeries to pull their socks up.
Yeah, for a group of people that celebrate advertising, they're not good at advertising themselves.
They own, they little awards across the continent and Middle East. Just now, literally, we had to record this ourselves.
This is us.
What do you think? I think we did well.
I think you did freaking well. I was just thinking that presenter was very close to that mic.
and the Loerie goes to
Joburg.
It's the Joburg for me.
Stupid show. Okay. We asked you what advert has shifted your core recently and made you buy into the product. Here's what you said, Joburg.
I saw this Instagram ad on sneakers. They were orange Van sneakers. And I had to have those shoes, and I went and got those shoes.
Yo, for me, it's the chicken licking advert with those ladies dancing. I had to rush and go buy chicken wings.
I saw on social media that Vida Cafe recently launched new summer frios. Immediately after seeing that ad, I went and I bought one of those frios, the strawberry and cream one.
Incredibig, and believe it or not, it is an incredible product.
That Wimpy milkshake ads. If it comes on, I crave a Wimpy milkshake.
What do you think it is, X? What juju are you guys putting in your adverts that just evoke a feeling? What's the formula there?
I think the formula is to understand culture. A lot of people try and talk about leading culture. I don't think you can ever lead culture. Culture is culture, but you need to be on the pulse of it. And you need to take it to places where people don't expect you to take it. So if everybody is teasing Rasta about his bad drawings or his bad paintings, we bring him into a piece of communication and we have him as a sketch artist for police to try and find people. You know, it's that kind of thing. So just putting that twist on it. If you grew up in the 80s listening to or watching The Knight Rider, you know, we bring you where the car's been for the last 25 years.
So it's a fafa of understanding, fafa of culture, fafa of nostalgia, fafa being on trend.
Absolutely.
You know, and then just fafa creativity after that.
100%.
And then you get yourself a Loerie.
Yes.
Yeah, it sounds so easy, hey? You make it sound so
I'm going to
easy.
do it by next week, Monday.
Yeah.
Or you get yourself the one thing that's more valuable than a Loerie, and that is people's hearts towards your brands. I think that's invaluable.
One ad that I definitely remember is that Gaviscon advert with the guy in the shop and he's explaining with the Coke bottle. Yes, that made me want to try Gaviscon.
For me, it was the King Price advert, having seen you guys go on that jet ride.
For me, it definitely is this new glycerine that's recently being advertised.
My friend sent me the Boerbul Goeie Millies advert and I ordered 2 shirts straight away.
Yo, I had the ad about rain and blah blah blah, cheap, affordable, anywhere, blah blah, and I went to buy.
Do you remember the Motorola Razr?
Yes!
At the end
Hello,
saying,
Moto.
Hello, Moto. Guys, I wanted a Motorola Razr.
It's not an advert. It was actually your burger tasting. I don't even eat burgers. But after the first week, I couldn't wait to order a burger.
And that's the heart, eh?
That's the
heart you speak of.
Absolutely. Absolutely. If you do the right thing in the right way, and if you execute it brilliantly, trust me, you'll find your way to that precious space.
So, Xolisa Dyeshana, in closing, Chief Creative Officer of Joe Public, what is detrimental to the advertising industry? So, if you are hospitality, you own hotels, what is your Airbnb? If you are Avis and what is your Uber, right?
Yeah.
What could come and shake the core of the ad game and you guys could possibly sleep on it until it's too late?
I would say it is people finding their voice in the creative space. I think the biggest challenge that we have right now is that people have got the tools to create creative content. And it's becoming more and more popular. So if you don't tap into that, if you don't tap into those minds, I believe that content could be way more popular, way more entertaining, more disruptive than what it is that we are doing. So that's why I think that from a CEO to the marketing person to the advertising agency, we have to be in touch with what is going on in the world around us in order to create work that gets to people's hearts.
Yes, you can. I'll vote for you any day. And you are wearing a shirt like you are the chairperson of a ward. A political ward of sort. Listen, thank you so much for your time. Is there anything else you want to add, X?
No, not at all. I just want to say thank you to our brilliant clients, to our brilliant people, to our brilliant country that inspires us all the time to keep doing what we do.
Joe Public, well done, man. Top agency in the country yet again.
What's your email address they give for CVs? There's people want to send their CVs. Well, you can find him on Twitter. Where do you find him? In the streets.
Instagram at Xolisa Dyeshana. That's Dyeshana.
Wow.
Find him there. He is all yours. From us, we're out of here. We're handing over to Msizi, who'll take it and give it to Zweli, who'll take it and give it to Tando, who'll take it and give it to Bulele, and then we'll be back here like we never left at all. Bye.
9, 4,